This is a paid presentation of Equity Wave Lending. I'm Alan Mendelson. If you want to get into real estate, but banks are telling you no, or banks are taking too long to give you the money you need, you want to talk to Equity Wave Lending. In the next half hour, you'll find out all about Equity Wave Lending. Stay with us. Why Equity Wave?
They're very resourceful, very good terms, very good service, and I think they're one of the best in the business when it comes to construction loans.
Yeah, I needed to be able to come up with the money fast, and Equity Wave did that for me.
It's really refreshing to not be able to tell a client that you've had for years no, if you can put them in the hands of someone else that can take care of them and meet their needs.
Hi, I'm Jack Suddarth. I'm president of Equity Wave Lending.
What is Equity Wave Lending?
Equity Wave Lending, Alan, is a private money lender. We provide loans for people that don't quite make the traditional financing.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, that means that in order to obtain a loan, there are several different pieces. You have to have the loan application, you have to have the credit, you have to have the title, the appraisal. All these come together and these create a loan package.
And that's what you get with a traditional lender.
It is.
And you're not a traditional lender.
No, we're not a traditional lender. In traditional lending, an underwriter looks for risk, and they risk assess, and they have very tight guidelines. Many people don't make those guidelines. If you don't make a guideline, then that means they deny you, and it just means that you're either not getting a loan or you might come to a private money lender to get the job accomplished.
So as a private money lender, you can do loans that traditional banks won't touch.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
what type of loans do you do that the banks won't?
Well, we typically specialize in what's called business purpose loans. And what is a business purpose loan? That's a loan that somebody is getting to provide more of an income for their life. Perhaps they want to buy an investment property, or maybe they want to take cash and put it into their business. An example might be a doctor who wants to buy more medical equipment for their office, an x-ray machine, what have you. So putting money into their business from their real estate, that becomes a business purpose loan. Now, if somebody was to come to Equity Wave Lending and say, I want to borrow money because I want to go on a vacation, or I want to, my kid's college tuition, it's not really a business purpose loan. The definition of a business purpose is really that it has to qualify for something of income in nature, or an investment property.
So if someone came to you and said, listen, I own a piece of property, I'd like to pull money out to buy another piece of investment property, that's what you're looking for. That's the kind of business
Correct.
you do.
Correct. And what's nice about that is that we don't have to verify the income. We don't have to verify the assets. The paperwork is very little. We don't have to dig through tax returns. And most people, when they find a great opportunity, they could have perfect credit and they could have lots of money in the bank, but they might have several businesses that creates a lot of extra red tape and chaos and interruptions to their regular lifestyle. So they come to us and we get the job done fast, sometimes as little as a week.
It seems to me that you're the kind of guy I would go to if I was looking to buy a house to flip and I needed to buy the house really fast.
That's correct. We have a lot of realtors that refer clients to us for that very reason. They want to make sure that the deal is solid, the deal is going to go through, and they're working with a competent lender. I've been in this business, Alan, for over 30 years, and we have a lot of experience. We know how to structure our loans. We'll tell you up front if we can't do the loan. We're not going to waste your time.
And again, you call it private money loan. I've also heard the term hard money loan. What do they mean by that?
It's a good question. They're really synonymous, hard money, private money. People come up with these terms, but really it should be called maybe easy, fast money. Kind of like going through In-N-Out Burger. You know, when you want fast food, you know, you don't want to wait forever. You just want something that you like.
Now, sometimes hard money loans get a bad reputation. Why are you different?
That's a great question. Our loans are not in the 3%. They really start in the 6s, and they may even go as high as up into 12. It really depends on the type of collateral that we're collateralizing. That means the property. We do everything from residential, mixed use. It might be both residential and commercial. We do commercial, we do industrial, we even do raw land. So certain properties have a higher risk level, and therefore the risk might be a little bit higher. So, but over the years, traditional rates are not, as low as the 3s as they are right now. So we're really kind of right in the middle of what rates have been ever since, say, the 50s to now. We're right smack in the middle.
But you're able to give people money to get a deal done and then pay off your loan fast and still have the deal.
That's correct. Yeah, our loans are really not meant to keep on your books for 30 years. So if you're looking for a loan for a long term, we're not the right company to come to.
So you're doing short-term loans.
We are.
And when you're doing a short-term loan, paying a little bit more interest is okay, as long as you know it's a short-term loan, you're going to get the deal, you're going to pay off the loan, and you're going to have the business asset that you've wanted to get.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, we're not a long-term solution. We're really more anything from, say, 1 to 7 years. And let's face it, many people don't even own their property more than 7 years. Sometimes they'll buy it and they'll turn it. So
Yeah, I'm thinking about house flippers. I mean, how long does a house flipper keep a house?
typically about 3 to 6 months. So on those types of loans, we provide 1-year financing. There'll be a 3-month prepayment penalty. Our prepayment penalties are structured as like a 3-2-1. So you might pay 3 months guaranteed interest, which means 3 payments guaranteed. If you pay it off in the 2nd month, you've already paid 1 of the 3. So you have 2 months payments. And if you pay it off in the 3rd month, it may be 0.
Call Equity Wave Lending at 888-399-8881. EquityWaveLending.com.
We're the team at Equity Wave Lending.
Let's talk about the house flipper who comes to you and wants one of these, I'm going to use the term quickie loan. He pays a little bit more, but he's able to make his deal buying and flipping the property. How does he come out ahead?
Well, first of all, it's very competitive when you're buying a property that you're buying it under market. So you have to be able to move quickly.
You need the cash.
You need the cash.
So that's why they come to you.
That's why they come to
They
us.
pay a little bit more interest, but they get the cash, they're able to buy the property, fix it up, flip it, make their profit, pay off your loan.
Yeah, if you're only making, say, 3 payments or 4 or 5 payments, it's not something you're married to for the rest of your life.
So paying the extra interest means nothing when you're flipping a property and making oodles of money on the improvements on that property.
Exactly. It's not even that much more interest. It's just a tiny bit extra, but you have the freedom to get your loan quickly, and you're not locked into all the extra laborious process of getting tax returns and everything else that they might ask for.
You mentioned that twice now about not needing taxes, not looking at taxes. You don't look at taxes?
No, it's strictly a stated income loan. It has to make sense. But
You look at the equity in the property that's up as collateral.
we look at that. We look at the whole scenario. If somebody is making the income and they can pay the loan back, this is important because we really want to make sure that they have the ability to pay the loan back. So it has to be a make sense type of thing. But the hard part for most people is having to have a business, have an interruption to their lifestyle, to have to provide all these other things. Most of us are busy working, and we don't want to have to stop working because it's a trade-off.
So tell me the things you don't look for. I mean, a lot of mortgage companies will tell you what they're looking for. I want to hear what you don't look for. You don't look for taxes.
We don't have to verify income. I mean, we don't have to verify assets. So income and assets. We don't look for a perfect credit score.
Really?
So people can have lates. They can have lates on their credit cards. They can have lates. A mortgage late's not going to kill them.
Call Equity Wave Lending at 888-399-8881. 8881. EquityWaveLending.com.
We're the team at Equity Wave Lending.
Chris Lamone, you're the contractor and developer here.
Yes, we are, sir. We're the developers and the contractors in this project.
And what are you building?
We're building a duplex here in the city of Montebello. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and a 3-bedroom, 3-bath.
And where's the financing coming from?
Equity Wave.
Why Equity Wave?
They're very resourceful, very good terms, very good service, and I think they're one of the best in the business when it comes to construction loans.
Why didn't you go to a regular commercial bank with a traditional loan and traditional banks?
Well, Equity Waves offers fast answers, good LTVs. I know Jack personally; he's just a great lender, and the reality with them, you save a lot of time, and you're able to get efficient service and very good terms.
So you got the money quickly, which allowed you to start construction quickly, and I guess that means get the deal done quickly.
Exactly, save money. Time is of the essence.
So
Yes.
time really is money.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is, especially in this business.
If you had gone to a regular commercial bank, how long would it have taken to get the financing?
Well, the financing would have taken forever, maybe months. But not only that, but being able to get your draws and being able to get your money while the construction, that's also very timely when you have a regular construction loan. With them, the draws and the system is very quick and efficiently. You get your money fast.
How quickly did you get your money?
With a couple of weeks,
And with a regular commercial bank?
it would take months, 2 to 3 months.
And that would have killed your project.
Well, we wouldn't have been able to close on time. It would have delayed the construction. It would have delayed the process, and we already have it in escrow, and it's not even finished.
Really? So you were able to advance your project, get the project, done, get it sold, even before it's actually finished.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. And Equity Wave has been a great avenue for that purpose. We usually build these properties, get them financed, and we usually have them sold before they're even finished and built.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And you can only do that with a company like Equity Wave because they don't have the stringent requirements that banks have.
They're our partners. Yes, sir. They're great. They're a great source of business. They're lending, their rates and their terms are very, very good.
Even though it's a private lender and they're doing what's called hard money loans, the rates are still affordable and they make your project work.
Yes, they're very competitive. Very competitive.
Yeah. And on top of that, you're saving time, and time is money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Time is money. In this business, that's, I think, one of the most important things. The quicker you get your project done, the quicker you move to the next one.
And therefore, you're getting more profit with each step and with each project.
You're able to finish one project, go to the next one, and roll over the money to the next project. Yes, time is of the essence. We started this project about maybe 4 months ago, and we're probably going to be finished in another 3 months. So, our plan is to roll that money to the next project and use Equity Wave again.
Call Equity Wave Lending at 888-399-8881. EquityWaveLending.com.
We're the team at Equity Wave Lending.
Hi, I'm Bo Hollingsworth, and I work with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corp., and I'm a branch manager for that company.
So you're in the mortgage business,
Absolutely.
but you've actually done business with Equity Wave Lending.
I've actually referred a number of clients to Equity Wave Lending.
Tell me how that works.
Well, in traditional financing, not everyone fits that bucket. So what I've
Which
done...
is the traditional financing, which is what your company does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that being said, a lot of my clients I've shared who want investment opportunities and they can't fit our needs, we'll send them over to Equity Wave Lending and let both Debbie and Jack take care of them.
So you're Macy's telling Gimbals what's going on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Some people won't understand that, but the idea is you're a competitor who recognizes that Equity Wave Lending fills a certain gap for people who can't do business with your traditional mortgage company.
Correct. And they bring a lot of added value to my clients. And if I'm not able to do the loans myself for them, I want to be able to refer them to someone that will take good care of them.
So professionally speaking, tell me about your relationship with Equity Wave and what they deliver.
over several years in the mortgage business that I've been working as a branch manager, I've been able to go obviously work through a lot of clients, past clients, present clients, that are all looking to grow their wealth, right? And most of it has to do in the equity and real estate divisions. So when we can't take care of it, or I can't service my client traditionally, then I send them to Equity Wave Lending so they have the opportunity to still tap into some of that real estate on a different type of financing.
So what kind of clients do you recommend to Equity Wave?
So I'll pre-qualify a client to purchase a home, and what happens is when the credit score doesn't meet the standards in traditional, or for some reason there's a life event that took place, previous bankruptcy, maybe there's a foreclosure that took place years ago, that is stuff that will pretty much cast them out of traditional financing, and that is the typical client that I'll send over to Equity Wave.
And you've done that on multiple occasions.
I have, and they've been able to take it's really refreshing to not be able to tell a client that you've had for years no, if you can put them in the hands of someone else that can take care of them and meet their needs. I can tell you firsthand, one, their speed is second to none, and in this marketplace, it's everything. Whether you're picking up property or you're having to, invest in real estate or what have you, or even pull money out of your own property to buy an investment, they're able to do all of those things pretty quick, and then.
Now you know this because you're on the inside. You're just not saying this. You actually know it.
Yes, correct. And what I found from my clients is that if they wouldn't have been able to move forward on anything.
Yeah.
If they didn't have that opportunity. And I'll give you an example. I had a client inherited a property after a passing, right? And she was only on Social Security. And she did have a tenant in her home. And Equity Wave was able to give her money from her investment property that she had no idea she was going to be getting. Within a 30-day period, she now has a set income based on that equity in that home.
Now you couldn't make that deal for her.
Absolutely not. In fact, I tried. Yeah. It didn't fit. It didn't fit
your traditional mortgage company standards, but with Equity Wave, it could fit.
Absolutely. 100%. I had a client that I referred to Equity Wave. Specifically, they were trying to pull money out of their investment property, and they were self-employed, and their income had declined. And in declining income, we cannot base on, even though they had a year before that was fantastic, life event in their business, what have you, allowed them to no longer be eligible. And they really needed the equity out of this investment property. So I was able to turn them over to Equity Wave Lending, and within probably 17 days, they were able to fund his loan, and he was happy as he can be.
You mentioned 17 days. Have they just stayed with you? How long would it have taken?
Well, they would have never got it done, for one, because of our guidelines.
Yeah.
However, I'm grateful that I was able to turn that over to them, and they did meet the parameters that this particular client needed at that time.
How is Equity Wave different as far as those qualifications go?
They are able to go with lower scores when life events take place, like a bankruptcy years ago or what have you. There's not a minimum, annual requirement of how far away they need to be from that event. They look at it as an organic, here's our equity, here's what we can do, and honestly can take care of the client. So
from the inside, and you're an insider, you know that Equity Wave really works. It really fills that gap.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Call Equity Wave Lending at 888-399-8881. EquityWaveLending.com.
We're the team at Equity Wave Lending.
Customer service is very important to you, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me how you give the best customer service.
I give the best customer service by answering phone calls immediately and giving honest feedback.
You don't get that from a bank. You call a bank, you have to call back 3 days or make an appointment a week in advance.
Absolutely. We call right back and we will give you honest answers and let you know if we can get your loan closed quickly.
How can you get loans done that traditional banks can't do?
We look at every loan based on its own merits. So we're going to look at the whole picture and we don't make you fit in a black or white box.
That's the whole thing, is you don't have the stringent limitations that traditional banks have.
Absolutely. We make it nice and easy.
You're watching a special report about equity wave lending, and this is very important. No one here is an actor or a paid actor or someone paid to say something. These are real people, real employees, real investors, real customers, and they're telling the real story.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
Hi, I'm Jim.
And you both did business with equity wave lending.
Yes.
What kind of business did you do with them?
We got a loan through Equity Wave in order to purchase our property.
And why did you go to Equity Wave as opposed to going to a regular traditional bank?
Well, I went to the big banks first, but they wanted all kinds of documentation and they wanted me to provide proof of income and all sorts of other things that were difficult for us. So with Equity Wave, even though we still had to fill out some forms and do some work, it was much easier and it went more quickly than it did with the big banks.
So what type of loan did you get with Equity Wave?
We got a stated income type loan, so we basically stated our income and then we filled out some of our other personal information. And then that allowed us to get the loan that we needed.
So you didn't have to do the traditional paperwork for the traditional loan with the traditional bank.
Correct. Yeah, that would have been difficult for us in our situation. So with Equity Wave, we didn't have to do that.
How much time do you think you saved coming to Equity Wave as opposed to going through all of the paperwork, jumping through all the hoops with a traditional bank?
Well, I had done traditional bank loans before, and it usually took several months for everything to come together. And sometimes it wouldn't come together at all because they were unhappy with something that I put on the forms or we had to verify things. So with Equity Wave, I think that we did it within a week or so.
It had to go and cut down on the pressure on everything like that.
Oh yeah, it made it a whole lot easier. He always does all the paperwork and it's a stressful process. So this was very easy.
Were you under a time deadline for buying this new property?
Yes, we had put in a bid and we were against 5 other people. And so being able to come up with the money more quickly definitely gave us the edge in as far as the
In getting the deal.
yeah, as far as being able to get the loan.
A lot of sellers right now are judging their buyers by whether or not they've got cash ready to close quickly. They don't want to wait around in this hot real estate market.
Sure, and every property has several buyers available. So, you know, if you can come up with the money more quickly, then you're more likely to be able to be the one that's chosen to purchase the property.
And that was part of your strategy, wasn't it?
Yeah, we definitely wanted to do that.
When you came to Equity Wave, you told them that, look, you've got a property, you want to close on it, you want to get the deal as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I let them know that I needed to get the money quickly and that I needed to be able to assure the sellers that I was going to be able to close on the property quickly. And that's part of why I was able to purchase the property that I wanted.
And they had a program for you. I mean, they didn't just throw their hands up and say, we can't help you. They actually had a program you could fit right into.
Yes, and I knew that they had been doing that type of loan for quite a while, so I was comfortable going with them and that they were going to be able to perform and get me what I needed.
For a lot of investors, this is a secret. I mean, they don't really know about this kind of stuff.
Yes, and the banks have made it a lot more difficult to borrow money. And so companies like Equity Wave that do hard money type loans are really an advantage for those of us who need to get easy money to be able to purchase our properties.
And to get money quickly.
And to get it fast, yes.
And you weren't scared by the name hard money. I mean, you knew how the deal worked.
No, I've been purchasing properties for a while, so I was familiar with that. And I knew that Equity Wave would be able to help me with that. They had a good reputation, so I think that I was fortunate that I was able to go with them.
There's an expression that time is money, and in the real estate business, when you're buying property, time really is money, because if you didn't have the money and get it quickly, you wouldn't have had the deal.
Yeah, I needed to be able to come up with the money fast, and Equity Wave did that for me.
Call Equity Wave Lending at 888-399-8881. EquityWaveLending.com.
We're the team at Equity Wave Lending.
We know that people have life events. Life events happen to everybody. And none of us are the exception to the rule. It just happens. And when that does happen, we don't penalize people for it. It's just not our type of loans that we're looking for. We're looking for people that want to get a loan. They just don't want to go through all the heartache of providing everything just to get that much smaller of an interest rate. Because let's face it, it's not going to make a difference. If you're not making that many payments, a smaller interest rate's really not going to make that big of a deal in the long run.
A slightly higher interest rate for a short period of time isn't really a burden to you when you're getting your business deal done and you're making money from your business deal.
Exactly right. Exactly right. If you're a fix and flipper, if you're putting money into your company, a lot of our clients are expanding their business.
I would think that these days a lot of people can't wait to buy a property because the real estate market is as hot as it is. Especially if you're buying an investment property like a duplex, what do you call it when you got three houses? Is that a triplex?
A triplex.
A triplex, okay. A quadplex.
A quadplex.
And an
fourplex.
apartment building.
Apartment building.
How about if you're a developer and you need to build a whole subsection?
We have that happen all the time.
Yeah.
We have people that, sometimes we have attorneys that come to us and they have a property that they want to collateralize in order to get cash to build an entire track. So we've had that. We've had clients all throughout California, everything from the northern border to the southern border and to the eastern border all the way to the Pacific. So it doesn't matter where you're located in California. If you can name a city in California, it's likely we've funded a loan there.
You know, the expression is cash is king, and you're actually making kings by giving them the cash.
I like that expression. That's good, yeah.
That's it. I mean, you're giving people the opportunity to get a business deal that they couldn't make if they were only dependent on a traditional bank with the traditional bank requirements.
We're putting the power back in their hands. In every way, all of our loans outweigh the extra hassle it is to have to go through to get a lower interest rate.
We're the team at Equity Wave Lending.
Remember, the company is Equity Wave Lending. They can do what banks can't do. I'm Alan Mendelson. Thanks for joining us. This has been a paid presentation of Equity Wave Lending.